David, talk me out of a Ricoh GR3.
I'm literally on the B&H. Were you looking at my screen?
No, I was.
I was literally opening the B&H page for it. I'm gonna not get the HDF one. Does it cost more for that look? You're insane to pay $100 more for
Wait,
that.
the GR3 HD.
What is HDF?
High diffusion.
High
filter.
diffusion filter.
What does that mean?
It just makes it look
in
like
that-
a memory.
It's like soft.
It makes it look like you took the camera and went.
That's exactly what it does. And you spent $100 more for that when you could just.
Do you know what number comes after 2?
This is so good.
25.
This is elite. This is an elite transition.
3, like the Sony RX1R III.
That was an elite transition. I really freaked it up. I'm sorry.
I like yours better.
Yes.
I thought we were going to trivia. I was like, where, how?
You know what comes after 2? Trivia.
Yeah. When he said 3, I was like, 3 via?
3 via. Okay, new point and shoot camera just dropped.
So many questions here.
Did you have a hot take on this? You said this is the best, right?
No.
Who's saying this is good? Nobody.
Oh,
wait.
There's the segment.
I thought somebody was saying this is good.
Okay.
Dude, I do not understand the point of this camera. Someone who Andrew pointed out in a DM, I didn't give you enough credit, but I did enjoy the previous RX series.
No, so I kind of messed up. You like the RX100s. I didn't.
This is different.
I didn't even realize the RX1R II because I didn't see the marks on them.
Yeah, the last one from this version was like 9 years ago.
Okay.
It was 2015. It was 10 years ago.
So I've been a notable RX100 lover since like the first gen one, and now there's been like 7 or 8 of them or something crazy.
This
That's
is
a
different,
1-inch sensor that's smaller, but it has. You can't take the lens off, but it is a zoom lens.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little pocket zooming little camera. This is a full frame fixed lens prime.
All right, let me give you the ecosystem breakdown.
And nobody said the price yet. I just want to point
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Okay, so you've all heard of the Fujifilm X100 series.
Yeah.
One of the most legendary point-and-shoot camera series available, right? That's APS-C. For listeners, APS-C is smaller than full frame. Okay. Then, in the other corner, you've got the Leica Q3, which it's a Leica, so it's $6,000. That is full frame point. These are all point-and-shoot cameras, by the way. Fixed lens point-and-shoot cameras. Leica Q3. Then you've got
Fixed lens prime.
Prime.
One focal length.
Yes, sorry. Fixed lens prime cameras, yes.
I got you, Dave.
Good job, Ellis. Okay. And then you've got the Fuji GFX100 RF, which I reviewed a few months ago.
Big boy.
Format.
Medium format. Okay. So the ecosystem of this is limited right now. Like, especially before the RF came out, your only options, I mean, there were some, but kind of your only options was like, do I want to get an X100? There's also the Ricoh GR3, which is very popular as well.
So when you say ecosystem, you mean there's a certain buyer who is specifically looking for a somewhat compact,
Yes.
full frame, large sensor, fixed
mostly
lens.
fixed lens compact camera.
Fixed prime lens. And then also, I would say high megapixel. Whether or not the sensor itself is big, all of these cameras have above 30 megapixels.
Basically, it's the the
X106 does have a 40 megapixel sensor. These are all above 30 megapixels.
They're above,
cameras.
So the idea is like one camera to rule them all, right? Like there's been photography is complicated. You don't have to buy like $1,000 lenses to just be able to like hot swap. You want to be able to have one little thing around your shoulder that you can just carry with you everywhere. And generally it's been like, well, you can get the X100 for, $1,700, which used to be even cheaper, or you can get the Leica Q3 for $6,000. So there just wasn't a lot in the ecosystem. The Ricoh GR3 came out, and that's sort of like a cult favorite. Anyway, there wasn't a lot in the full frame market. But 10 years ago, there was the RX1 Mark II, and there was the RX1 before that. And that was like Sony's entry, because every camera company sort of needs sort of an option, because the Fuji X100 series was so ridiculously popular that every other company was like, we have to make our own version.
Yeah.
That's basically what spurred Sony to bring it back. So now they're like, okay, finally, we're bringing it back after 10 years. The market is here. People finally want this. And so they added the Okay, there's so much context. The context of Sony cameras is that there's 3 versions of Sony cameras. There's the S version, which is low megapixel, which gives it way better low light performance, better video specs because they have to push less data through.
I like the R.
Yeah, we're getting
I
there.
like the R better.
There's the regular one that doesn't have a letter, that is the in-between one, and then there's the R, which stands for resolution, and that's the high megapixel version. Sony's most recent R cameras, the A7R III, is 61 megapixels. That sensor is 61 megapixels. So they're pushing that into this full frame point and shoot camera. So you're basically getting like A7R V specs, sort of, in a compact point and shoot body because Sony realized they needed to do that. The problem is many-fold. Except that it doesn't fold. That's one of the problems. It has no articulating viewfinder,
womp womp,
which is like a big problem. Its OVF is like lower resolution than most other cameras. It is 4K at 30 FPS only with video, which is kind of surprising. I'm surprised they're not doing more of that. The biggest problem is it's $5,100.
Womp womp womp.
That is the issue. So okay,
also
honestly,
no IBIS.
Also no IBIS. Yeah, and a lot of people gave Fuji a lot of crap, including me, for not putting IBIS in the GFX100 RF, and that's a medium format camera. So to not put it in a full frame camera is like, what?
It's like womp
are
womp.
you doing?
Womp.
Yes, it's more expensive than the Fuji, and like people love Fuji because of the color science, and like you can just spit out these film modes. This also has film modes, but they don't really look that good. They don't really look like film. They're just sort of, so I don't know what percentage of this is tariffs, like tariff based, and what percentage of it is just Sony thinking like, wow, people really love point and shoots right now. We can totally make a lot of money at this. Yeah. So there's a lot of drama.
I feel like that's definitely a meeting that happened. Yeah. They're like, we need an answer to Fuji's success in this vertical.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of competition in this vertical, so we don't have to be price competitive. We can just make it $5,000 or whatever. But we just need a competitor in this vertical for someone to pick the Sony version.
Yeah, 100%.
And they just made a Sony version.
100%.
And it's not great, but it exists, and you can pick it if you want.
Dude, but if you were like, I want a point and shoot, and my budget is $6,000. First of all, if you said that to yourself, you could probably see a psychiatrist.
No, I mean,
frankly,
well,
but
there are people like that.
If you're gonna spend $6,000 on a camera, you can get so much camera. You know what I mean?
At that point, it's not like. I think people are buying it less about the capability of the camera and more just about like the feeling of the camera.
But that's
then buy a Leica.
That is the opposite of what Sony is.
I know that I was.
Sony is a computer with a lens strapped onto it. That's all it is.
And this camera doesn't even do the computer stuff well. What is it? 5 shots a second burst mode?
I don't know. I didn't see that one.
That's what like.
No, I agree. I feel like this all the Sony like A series also are just like these have crazy specs on them.
Yeah.
They're really good cameras. They take really good pictures, but like when you immediately compare this to Fuji, I was like, I had so much fun taking the X100S out to Wildwood because it's just fun to shoot on and all the film things are fun and it's like it's an experience where like Sony, I just think of it as like, I want the sickest like high resolution photo possible,
sharpest lenses because they own Zeiss,
and like 1,000 frames a second, and like sports photography.
I shoot at ISO 10 million, for no reason.
It's like the RTX 5090 versus
It's like the scientist versus the artist, right? It's very much that. So
it feels like a weird spot to be jumping into.
And like a lot of people, including me, were saying on the RF, the GFX100 RF. If you're, it's too close to the Leica in price. When the Leica, by the way, has IBIS, so there's that. It is also 60 megapixels, so it's like it's not like the Sony is way higher on.
Does the Leica have autofocus?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Q3. The Q3 is an f1.7 lens, so it's like even faster than the Sony, which is f2. Wow. It's a 28 millimeter instead of a 35 millimeter. It's just like Sony's core competency has always been, as you said, Andrew, like specs, resolution.
There's another product like this. It's so funny where it's like you see the new version as a competitor and it just makes you want to buy this. Seeing this camera just makes me go, I should get a Leica Q3.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I was telling a friend yesterday, like this camera makes the RF seem like a steal at $4,900, and it makes the Q3 seem reasonable.
That's so funny.
Which is wild. So I don't really know what Sony was thinking here.
Wow, the Leica shoots 8K 30. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get the Leica then. This camera doesn't really make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah.
Is there a person? Is there really a person out there whose camera budget is that high and their number one priority is pocketability? Like that's the only thing this camera has going.
Dude,
for
I've
it.
I've hung out at the Leica store in New York before. There are people that walk in and just like, yeah, I don't know. I was like thinking maybe I should have a camera to carry around with me. Like, what is that? And they're like, oh, that's the Q3. And they're like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And then they just pay $6,000. Like,
unfortunately, that person exists in every hobby, and it's really frustrating. People in the hobby that exists in watches, that exists in cars. People walk into this.
We know someone who does it in watches for sure. Not going to say their name out loud, but it rhymes with Sark Zuckerberg.
Oh, Sark Zuckerberg.
Well, Zuck picked up the CT5V Blackwing and probably just walked in the dealership and was like, "People like this one.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I'll take 3."
There's also like no culture around Sony. There's culture around Leica. There's culture around Fujifilm.
There is some enthusiast culture with Sony, I think.
Now it's like the creator culture.
I feel it's like creator
Sony.
YouTube.
But they all hate each other.
All
they do is argue on threads. None of them are hanging out.
Hey. I, as someone who is very skeptical of Sony cameras and just had my first weekend with one, they're pretty.
I love the A7.
Ellis.
Yeah.
With all due respect, you're using like a 15-year-old one.
No, I'm using a Mark III, an A7.
It's pretty old.
It's 2018.
We got that close to when I started working here.
That's 20 years ago. Feels like it though.
I'm just saying.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or
Did you
not.
guys know that the year 3 was 2022 years ago?
Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did
you know?
I just have to find this curious, David, because I just found a tweet from 6 years ago of you saying they should make a Sony RX1R III. And now you don't seem to like
That's
it.
not wrong, though. This is the thing. People have been saying this for the last few years, ever since the X100 got so popular. But then they dropped it at $5,100 with no articulating.
If they were to redo this the Sony way, what I would have expected from an RX1R Mark III, RX1R Mark III, it would be like, oh, it has a super fast, great autofocus. They went f1.6 just to beat them. They went like slightly undercutting in price and more megapixels, and they added a bunch of functions that the others didn't have, so they could claim theirs is better.
100%.
And it seems like they didn't do it the Sony way.
It's not better than literally any other camera.
It's weird.
So that it's in its category. So I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Can't wait for the Sony engineers to hit us up.
Welcome to my rant. Yeah, they will. They'll be mad at me. I'm sorry, but I'm also not.
This is the Clips outro. Subscribe.
What Google phone?
Nice.
Oh.